Good morning, all. I am Dr. Shalini Malhotra, Assistant Professor in the Department of Biotechnology from Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru Government College, Faridabad. Today, we'll be discussing about DNA structure. Now, first of all, we should know what is DNA. DNA is a double-stranded molecule that is twisted into a helix. As we all know that all living organisms contain DNA, but with the exception of viruses, especially plant viruses, contain RNA as their genetic material. Deoxyribonucleic acid are high molecular weight polymeric compounds which on complete hydrolysis gives base, sugar and phosphate. Then James D. Watson and Francis Crick reduced the double helical structure of DNA and they got the Nobel Prize for Physiology and Medicine jointly with Maurice Wilkins in 1962, who also contributed to the discovery of three-dimensional structure of DNA. Very little is known about Maurice Wilkins. He initiated the experimental research into DNA that culminated in Watson and Crick's discovery of its structure in 1953. Wilkins crystallized DNA in a form suitable for quantitative X-ray diffraction work and obtained the best quality X-ray images seen at that time. Now, again we come to DNA, commonly known as deoxyribonucleic acid, is a complex molecule that contains all the information necessary to build and maintain an organism. We know that DNA is our genetic material, that is, it is passed from one generation to the other generation, next generation. All living cells have full set of DNA within their cells. DNA, as we discussed already, it is a polymer of deoxyribonucleotides, means number of nucleotides they join together with the help of a phosphodiester bond and we get a chain of DNA. It is responsible for determining all organisms' traits such as eye color, body structure and cellular enzyme production. Now, DNA structure and overview. We know that DNA is a long molecule made up of repeating individual units called nucleotides. DNA, it is made up of nucleotides and nucleotides have three main components. उसके तीन मेन कंपोनेंट्स है. फर्स्ट कंपोनेंट है ये डीऑक्सीराइबोज शुगर जो कि डीएनए में प्रेजेंट होती है और राइबोज शुगर विच इज प्रेजेंट इन आरएनए. दिस इज द फर्स्ट मेन कंपोनेंट ऑफ न्यूक्लियोटाइड और न्यूक्लियोटाइड को की चेन को मिलाकर हम डीएनए बनाते हैं. देन वी हैव नाइट्रोजनस बेस. नाइट्रोजनस बेसिस होते हैं जो कि चार डिफरेंट टाइप के नाइट्रोजनस बेसिस होते हैं and we have a phosphate group. So this is a structure of a nucleotide, and if we remove the phosphate group then we get nucleoside. Then we'll study about nitrogenous bases. They are divided into two groups, purines and pyrimidines. The bases of DNA and RNA are heterocyclic, means carbon and nitrogen containing aromatic rings with a variety of substituents. Pyrimidines, they are made of one 6-membered ring, as you can see in the figure. This is a pyrimidine ring, 6-membered. Then we have a purine ring which is 9-membered ring. Pyrimidines, thymine and cytosine are pyrimidines, whereas adenine and guanine are purines. The two common purine bases found in DNA and RNA are adenine and guanine. Adenine and guanine, they are the two purines. It is a 9-membered ring structure, and adenine, it is also known as 6-aminopurine, while it is 6-oxy-2-aminopurine. Adenine has an amino group on the C6 position of the ring, and guanine has an amino group at the C2 position. This is C2. Amino group at the C2 position and a carbonyl group at the C6 position. Amino group at C2 and carbonyl group at C6. Now, if we talk about the pyrimidines, it is a 6-membered ring structure. The two major pyrimidine bases found in DNA are cytosine and thymine. We have uracil in place of thymine. Thymine differs from uracil only in having a methyl group at C5 at 5th position. That is, thymine is 5-methyl uracil. If we remove this methyl group, we get uracil. तो हमारे पास DNA में 4 बेसिस होते हैं, एडेनिन, ग्वानिन, साइटोसिन एंड थाइमिन. बट इन केस ऑफ RNA हमारे पास थाइमिन की जगह पर यूरासिल होता है. थाइमिन एंड यूरासिल कहाँ पे डिफरेंस है? सिर्फ एक ये मिथाइल ग्रुप पे यहाँ डिफरेंस. नाउ वी कम ऑन टू deoxyribose sugar. The sugars found in nucleic acids are pentose sugar. These 5 carbon sugars, ribose and deoxyribose, are important components of nucleotides and are found in RNA and DNA respectively. This is deoxyribose sugar. यहाँ पर 5 देख रहे हैं आप, 5 कार्बन है. In case of deoxyribose sugar at C2 prime, we have H instead of OH in case of ribose sugar. Therefore, it is known as deoxyribose. The recurring deoxyribonucleotide units of DNA contain 2' deoxy-D-ribose and the ribose units of RNA contain D-ribose. The carbon numbers are given prime designation to distinguish from the numbered atoms of the nitrogenous bases. हम इनके जो ये राइबोस और डीऑक्सीराइबोस शुगर्स हैं, इनके कार्बन नंबर को वी डेजिग्नेट देम बाय 1', ताकि वो जो नाइट्रोजनस बेसिस के नंबर हैं उनसे हम डिफ्रेंशिएट कर सकें. व्हेन शुगर इज अटैच्ड टू अ बेस, द रिजल्टिंग कंपाउंड इज नोन एज न्यूक्लियोसाइड. Now we all know that adenine always pairs with thymine and guanine always pairs with cytosine. This adenine pairs with thymine with the help of 2 hydrogen bonds and guanine pairs with cytosine with the help of 3 hydrogen bonds. But this DNA base pairing rule was given by a scientist, Irwin Chargaff. He proposed 2 rules which are termed as Chargaff's rule, and these rules have played an important role in the discovery of the double-stranded structure of DNA. First rule is that in any double-stranded DNA, the number of G guanine units always equals the number of cytosine units. ये जो G की concentration है, it is equal to the concentration of cytosine, and the number of adenine equals the number of thymine. Second rule is the composition of DNA varies from one species to another, but in double-stranded DNA, the molar mass of adenine to thymine is 1, whereas similarly the molar ratio of guanine to cytosine is always 1. The sum of the purines A plus G is always equal to T plus C. The percentage of C plus G does not necessarily equals the percentage of A and T. So, according to this Chargaff's rule, A will always pair with T and G will always pair with C. Now we know that in DNA or in RNA, what happens, the nucleotides, they are linked together with the help of a phosphodiester bond. And in case of phosphodiester bond, what happens, 5' hydroxyl group of one nucleotide is joined to the 3' hydroxyl group of the next nucleotide with the help of a phosphodiester linkage. Thus, the covalent backbones of nucleic acids consists of alternating sugar and phosphorus residues and bases are stacked inside. You can see in this figure, आप ये देख सकते हैं कि this is ये एक base है, this is sugar and this is phosphate. ये एक nucleotide है. It is linked to the next nucleotide with the help of this phosphodiester bond. What happens? Phosphodiester bond किसके बीच में बनता है? Between the 3' hydroxyl group of one nucleotide with the 5' hydroxyl group of the next nucleotide. There is a condensation reaction. This phosphodiester bond is formed and water is released. So, successive nucleotides, they are linked together with the help of a phosphodiester bond. Now, come on to the double helical structure of the DNA. Now, Rosalind Franklin and Wilkins used the powerful method of X-ray diffraction to analyze DNA fibers. And in 1953, Watson and Crick postulated the three-dimensional model of DNA structure that accounted for all the available data. Now, this is the double helical structure of DNA. The distance between the bases was 0.34 nanometer and one complete turn took 3.4 nanometer, accounting for 10 bases per turn of the helix. एक टर्न में 10 bases हैं और bases they are stacked inside. Bases अंदर की side है and we have a sugar phosphate backbone on the outside. And this double helical structure, it gives rise to the formation of two type of groups, minor groove and major. This is the major groove and this is the minor groove. The distance between the two polynucleotide chains, in दो chains के बीच में distance, it was 2 nanometer. And as the two strands are anti-parallel, one strand runs from 5 prime to 3 prime direction and the other strand runs from 3 prime to 5 prime direction, and the DNA double helix is held together by hydrogen bonding and the base taking interactions. Now we come on to the comparison of different forms of DNA. The Watson and Crick double helical model describes the features of the B form of DNA. However, there are many other forms of DNA which are more distinct from the B form and are biologically important too. The conformation that DNA would adopt primarily depends on the hydration of the DNA, hydration level, DNA sequence, chemical modification of the bases, the type and concentration of metal ions in solution. Now, A form is a right-handed helix, B form is also a right-handed helix, whereas Z form is a left-handed helix. It has this Z form, it has been mostly found in alternating purine pyrimidine sequences and it is thinner than bDNA. The bases are shifted to the periphery of the helix in case of zDNA, and there is only one deep narrow groove equivalent to the minor groove in bDNA. There are 11 residues per turn of the helix in case of A form, 10 residues in case of B form, and 12 base pairs per turn of the helix in case of Z form. Now, rotation of helix per residue is 30 degree in A form, 36 in B form and 30 in Z form. Now, base tilt relative to helix axis, it is also in degrees, 20 degree in A form, 6 degree in B form and 7 degree in Z form. This is all about the DNA structure. Thank you for your patient hearing.